everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of Adulting with Angel. It is a new year and I want to challenge you guys to look within and really rediscover who you are and who you want to be in the year 2022. In this episode, I want to talk about fear and taking the next steps into the life that you've always dreamed about. In today's video, I've come up with about 10 life experiences that I have turned into life hacks to hopefully guide you guys through your fear and push you to really express and unbox your true potential in the new year. The first, and I want to say most important thing to recognize when combating fear is that life begins on the other side of your comfort zone. In order to live a great life, you have to embrace spontaneity. And I am one of those people where I can truly tell you guys that I have a fear of not having a plan. I have a fear of putting myself out there without knowing what's going to happen, but honestly, I can tell you the only great things have come from me pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Point number 2, it is really important to identify your fears, recognize why you have them, and where they came from. A lot of the times, this is controversial. Honestly, everything I say is controversial, so take it with a grain of salt, please. The one thing that I've recognized, especially with my crazy past, is that a lot of times our fears aren't even from us. When you sit down and look back at what's keeping you back and what you're scared of, honestly, a lot of times it's passed down fears from either family, friends, or people that you've had close to you in your life. Don't let other people's fears and past rejections keep you from recognizing your true potential and finding the life that you've always wanted. That is something that is so important to recognize, and I hope you guys, now that I've said it to you, you start to process it and say, I have a lot of things I thought I was scared of, but really it wasn't me who was scared of them. It was other people's perceptions that I've embodied. Don't do that. It is a trap. Number 3, recognize that you are allowed to make mistakes. Every experience that we have is a good, a bad, or a learning experience. They're all just a part of life, and you can't put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect. I say this, and I mean this with my entire heart. Do not let anyone else's perception of life make you believe that you're not doing things the right way. You're also allowed to change your mind. And one thing, if I've learned at all in 2020, is that people are really pressed about changing opinions and changing their minds. It's not that deep. You can change your mind. You can have one goal and then have a different one. Perfect example, I have my undergraduate degree in psychology. When I graduated, I was like, yeah, actually, I don't really want to do psychology anymore. And I know I just spent 4 years of my life pursuing a career in psychology, and then I changed it and I found a way to incorporate what I've already learned and put it into my new career. And that's kind of what it's all about. It's never a mistake. It's always just a change of pace. And you know what? Moana talks about that in her movie. My favorite thing that I like to do is keep it private. Keep your life private. As unfortunate as that sounds, not everybody in your life is cut out to see you win. Not everybody wants to see you get your goals. Some people are rooting for you to fall. Some people are so nervous that if you do a good job, that what they're doing won't seem like a good job. Let it go. One thing about me, and you guys will probably notice this as my channel progresses and grows, I love to talk, but if you listen to what I'm saying, 99% of the time, it's nothing personal. And sometimes we get put into situations where we feel like we have to divulge a lot of personal information. Keep things generic. Keep things personal. Perfect example, I moved into Chicago, I got a new job. Honestly, only like 4 or 5 people know. And that's because I like to keep my circle small. I like to surround myself with people who are on the same path as me and will encourage me to be the best version of myself. By keeping things private, it eliminates the fear of what other people might think by removing that factor from the occasion. Perfect example, my ex-boyfriend. We're gonna be talking about him, don't y'all worry. That is another video. One thing about our relationship is that he would never push himself to the next level because he was always thinking, what would this person say? Or what would that person say? Or what would this person, who cares? It's your life. If you wanna dye your hair red, shave your head, I don't know, do it. Whatever fear you have in your life was placed on you by someone else, another experience, or a failed experience. They're all just experiences. Stop labeling things as good or bad. They're just experiences. Number 6, it is all a matter of perspective, and there's not a right or wrong way to live life. I genuinely believe that social media has almost shaped us to believe that we're doing things right or wrong, or oh my gosh, all my friends are getting pregnant, so I need to get pregnant, or all my friends are getting married and I don't have a boyfriend, and everything is a matter of perspective. And my best friend Bella and I talk about this all the time. Sometimes you're too close to something that you can't see what's over here. Does that make sense? There's never a right way or a wrong way to do everything. Just look at it from the bigger picture. And that's something I struggled with a lot before I started my healing journey, is I would micro focus on the tiniest thing and wonder why it wasn't working. But then when I looked at the bigger picture, it really wasn't that big of a deal. When was the last event that happened to you that you thought your life was ending and now you look back at it and you're like, oh, it was not important? Yeah, that's usually 99% of things. It'll be okay. Number 7. 7 is my favorite number, so this is probably gonna be one of the best topics. You are who you surround yourself with. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. You are who you surround yourself with. The people that you surround yourself with, your friends, the people that are closest to you, have the biggest influence on who you are and who you are to become. Do not let your circle from a past version of yourself carry over and dictate who you are going to be in the next part of your life. A really big and controversial thing about me personally is that I have no problem going through friends. I have no problem with recognizing that, wow, you were a great friend for this part of my life, but honestly, you're kind of holding me back from being the next version of myself. Don't go around burning bridges, but just recognize that just because someone has been your best friend your whole life doesn't necessarily mean they need to be your best friend or your most supportive ally for the rest of your life. Be very picky about your circle. And I know I've mentioned this before, but when I tell you guys that I have maybe 4 or 5 friends, like, that's what I mean. And there's a lot of people I love to hang out with, a lot of people I love to see, but there's a very minimal amount of people that I will go to when I need advice or when I need decision-making help or serious crises that come about in my life. And I love to make everything a crisis. That's literally my job. So I over make everything. But there's certain people in my life, like my mom, my dad, my sister Christine, my sister Shay, my best friends, you know, Bella and Amanda. There's certain people in my life that I will go to when there's something that I need to talk about. And these people will give me an objective feedback on the situation. And my family, honestly, my parents, I love them so much because they have been so supportive with me my whole life about being objective on situations. Everyone in my family understands the concept of do you. And my sister Shay, with my last breakup, she's really helped me through it. And she keeps reminding me, she's like, sis, if you want to text him, text him. If you want to go see him, go do it. This is your life and you need to do what works for you. And I believe this because I've seen it so many times in my personal life and in the lives of those people around me. If you have bad friends, you have a bad life. And good friends will always push you to be the best version of yourself. Me and my girlfriends went out to see the ballet the other night and we talked about this. And it was under the kind of the impression of we're all different people and we're all going to be different after college. And that doesn't mean that what I'm doing and what you're doing is bad or good. It's just, this is my opinion on it. And I feel like once you have people whose opinions you value and people who you can go to, kind of stick to those people for life advice. You can have all the friends you want. Just know there should only be a few people who you really trust to help you through certain situations. And the best part about it is you can group people into certain situations. So there's some friends I have when I'm going through a breakup or a life crisis with men, they are called. I have some people when I need help with the job, I call them, or when I need help with my hair or how to do makeup. There's certain people for every aspect of life. They do not all need to be connected. Yeah. Another micro topic in this topic is the healing journey is a very lonely place to be. It is very emotional when you have to cut out friends that you've had for 10, 15 years. Honestly, 2 of my best friends from elementary school I'm no longer friends with, and it was probably the hardest thing for me that I've ever done, was just recognizing that they were holding me back in a place and reminding me of a person that I didn't want to be anymore. So I have a lot of trauma that I've experienced growing up, and I was not the best person growing up. I was a bully, I was rude, I was mean. I was just not the best person, and I recognize that now. Nothing I could do for the self I was in 2015, but the 2022, 2021 Angel, she knows better. So when I have friends or I run into people who know me or at least know my 2016 self and they say things about me or they comment about me, I have to remind them, like, listen, I know I might have done that 5 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even 30 days ago, but the person I was in the past is not the person that I am now. Please do not keep holding me to that person. I'm accountable for the actions that I did back then, and I apologize if they hurt you, but I'm no longer that person. And honestly, it's about forgiveness of ourselves. So when we have friends who are like, oh, like you never used to do that, and oh, all of a sudden you're doing this and you used to not do that. I am a new person. I'm growing into my true self. Either you're with me or you're without me. And one phrase that I always kind of use is if they're not helping you grow, they have to go, which kind of is a metaphor for like flowers, and flowers grow, and if you're not growing, you're dead weight. There's that. Number 8, trust yourself. And when I say this, I mean it with my wholehearted being. You know yourself better than anybody else will ever know you. You know what decisions are right for you. You know what mistakes you've made. You know what you need to pull yourself up on. You know what makes you accountable. Do not let anyone else's opinion of you, feedback on you, take you away from your gut instinct of who you are and who you are known to be. Back in the day, I wasn't the best person, but I wanted to be a better person. And as I've gotten older, I've started to recognize that there was no reason that I couldn't trust myself and just let go of my fear of judgment. With this YouTube channel, I've been so scared to make a YouTube channel because what if people don't like what I have to say? 2022, 2021, 2020 has been a very controversial time in life. And what if I say something now that in 10 years affects my career or affects my friendships or upsets people I care about? There's only so much you could do. You have to take accountability for what you say and who you are, but that's really the most that you can do. You have to trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your instincts. So now I kind of want to shift the focus of this fear-based journey and really focus on taking the next steps. What are you going to do now that will really change your life and make things different? Which leads me to topic number 9, which is give yourself a time limit to make all of your decisions. I have found that fear comes from when we sit on things for a long period of time and we come up with hypotheticals and we overthink the situation. Not necessary. Alexis Fernandez has kind of shared this topic on her podcast about giving yourself a time decision limit. I've really found that giving myself a time limit to make decisions helps relieve anxiety, it helps relieve stress, and it helps to kind of eliminate outside stress. So a big thing that I've noticed with fear and with making decisions is once people know that you're trying to make a decision, they want to have the answer. Keep that in mind when you come to make really big decisions about getting a new job or moving to a new city. Make the decision and stick to the decision. Simple as that. There's no need to worry about what ifs, because if you don't like it once you get there, you can always go back home, you can always leave, you can always go somewhere else. What's holding you back? What are you so scared of, really? And that brings us to the last topic of today's video, topic number 10. What is the worst thing that can happen? Take the leap of faith, push yourself, go to the new city, take the new job. What is the worst thing that can really happen if you don't like it? You leave? We put so much pressure on ourselves to be great when we're already great. If you've come up with the decision to move to New York City because that's a dream of yours, chase your dream. We're only in our 20s once. Every year we just get older and it becomes harder to make these decisions. Once we have children, once we're in a relationship, once we have things that tie us to a place, it's harder to leave. Honestly, the biggest piece of advice that I've gotten from my sisters who are all in their late 30s is that this is the time of your life to make the bad decisions, quote unquote bad. This is the time in your life where that is something that is so important to recognize. And I hope you guys, now that I've said it to you, you start to process it and say, I have a lot of things I thought I was scared of, but really it wasn't me who was scared of them. It was other people's perceptions that I've embodied. Where you move to that city you've always wanted to move in, because what's the worst that could happen? Okay, maybe you're not ready to move. Maybe you take a weekend trip there. Maybe you take a week off of work and go explore the city that you've always loved. For me, I always thought I wanted to move to Seattle, but really I just wanted to explore a new place that was different from where I was from. Growing up in Florida, we don't really have a lot of mountains. We don't really have cold weather. We really just have the beach. And we have a lot of alligators and iguanas. At the end of the day, what I'm telling you guys is take the leap of faith. Do the thing that you've always wanted to do. Don't let anything hold you back, and especially don't be the person that stands in your own way. This is your life. You need to enjoy it. You need to live it, and you need to chase after your dreams. This is a new year, new you, new adventures, 365 days to make a difference. It only takes about 18 days to make a new habit, to change your life, and I hope you guys do. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. The biggest thing that I've learned in my healing journey is that self-reflection is the most important gift that we can give ourselves. Take the time every day to really ask yourself what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you hope to go with that decision. You're allowed to change, and that's the best part about life, is we're always growing and we're always changing. Don't let anybody hold you back. And if you haven't noticed yet, it's normally you. It's normally ourselves. Now, because I can only speak on my experiences and things that I've gone through, I decided that I want to share with you guys a weekly journal prompt so you guys can start taking the time out of every day or every week to really just reflect on this video and on the things that are going on in your life. Today's journal prompt is, what is stopping you from living the life that you've always wanted to live? Alright guys, well that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching my first video. I tried to be as transparent with you guys as possible. I am so nervous and I don't ever want you to think that I have my life together just because I'm on the internet. I'm just another 21-year-old just, you know, winging it. So with that being said, I will see you guys next Sunday at 6 o'clock Central Time with another video. See ya.